lay out, and make recommendations. No project is too big or too small. You can visit them on location at 17th Street and Grand Avenue in the Fort Sanders area or online at ofonox.com or give them a call at 865-524-3003. Office Furniture Outfitters, providing East Tennessee's biggest selection and best value for office furniture since 1995.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. The new year is here and it's the 2022 East Tennessee real estate season. As I always do, I'm going to shoot straight with you. If you have a home to sell, then you need to give me a call ASAP. Inventory is low and I will get you the most money possible and more than you think trying to sell it on your own. If you are a seller that also needs to buy a home, you need to call me ASAP, as there are ways I can help you manage that situation and stay in your home until we find what you want. If you are looking to buy, you need to call me ASAP. You absolutely need someone on your side to help navigate the current waters, and you need someone that's going to do their homework and find homes that aren't on the market yet. Bottom line, you need to call me today ASAP. Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897. If you are buying, selling, or considering investing in real estate this year, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon, and go Vols!
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, T. Kell, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. T. Kell and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suits your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio in beautiful West Knoxville, Tennessee. Lots to get to today on a Monday morning, last day of the month. Beautiful temperatures outside for January here in Tennessee. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Thank you for making the Swain Event part of your early day. You can stream us online at SwainEvent.com. You can listen to the show wherever you are, wherever you're going, wherever you may be. You can listen to the show simple. Very, very simple. Just download the free Swain Event app, Android, Apple devices. You can view the show on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Ben, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to rock, man. Great NFL playoffs, conference championship games. Both games were close. Tennessee played in a slugfest of a game over the weekend. So lots to get to, my friend. You ready?
Always ready.
Because why?
Because why? What?
Because if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
That's
man.
right.
That's right. Man, Tennessee dropped a heartbreaking game, 51-52 to Texas. It was a near sellout for the Frank Irwin Center. They have struggled with attendance for a while there in Texas, but
since Rick left.
Yeah, since Rick left. But Saturday night was different. The reception was warm. The reception was actually pretty surprising. I saw the tweet, and we figured they would be accommodating, but man, they rolled out the red carpet for sure for Rick Barnes, and Rick deserves it, man. He deserves it. Did a lot of great things at Texas. Took Texas to the tournament, and every year except for one there, so they better be appreciative.
Yes, and made a Final Four with T.J. Ford and won a whole lot of games. I did not realize that he was the winningest all-time coach in Texas basketball history. It makes sense when I sat down and actually thought about it, but it just never hit me that he was the winningest coach in Texas basketball history. And it was the reception that Rick Barnes deserved, because he was tremendous at Texas. You can discuss his shortcomings in the NCAA tournament, and his recruiting may have become stagnant towards the end of his tenure at Texas. And I realize we live in a society that just feeds off of negative energy, but Rick Barnes was tremendous. I mean, one of the best coaching jobs you'll find in college basketball over the course of college basketball history. Honestly, that I know it didn't result in a national championship, but Texas basketball was nothing before Rick got there, and he turned it in. I mean, like you just said, he went to 15 of 16 NCAA tournaments. I mean, that is just remarkable. Or was it 16 of 17, and then he made, I believe, 15 straight tournaments. I mean, he just won a whole lot of basketball games, and I don't feel like he is appreciated enough for all the winning that he has done because of the NCAA tournament shortcomings. But I think there's really something to be said for winning or making it 15 straight years and 16 of 17 years, especially after he took over the job that wasn't all that attractive because it was a football school, as we all know. So it was really cool to see that reception and a sold-out arena for the first time since 2016. My favorite part about Rick Barnes returning to Texas was seeing his grandson sitting next to him during the game. His grandson's name is Caleb.
Best birthday present ever.
Absolutely. His birthday was on Thursday, and Rick was able to fly in, obviously, with the team on Friday and spend time with him. And then Caleb, who is named after Rick Barnes. Rick's first name is Caleb, I believe. I believe it's Caleb Rick Barnes, if I'm not mistaken. But according to Rick, he is named after him, and his
Rick Dale.
That's right.
Richard Dale.
I don't know where the Caleb comes from, but according to Rick, he is named after himself. So, but his daughter and his son-in-law adopted him when 6-8 months old. So just a really cool story there. And that was my favorite part of the Rick Barnes return, honestly. It was just him being able to go back and see his grandson and I've never seen that before, of a child, grandson, kid sitting next to the coach on the bench. That was really, really, really cool.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. That was a really, really cool moment for him, Caleb, and for us, the viewers. But it was about the game, right? It was about going out there and getting that victory, something Tennessee was unable to do. And we knew the game was going to be filled with emotions. I thought that Chris Beard did a really good job, according to Chris Budden, of just embracing the moment, not trying to downplay the emotions that will be flowing through the arena. Not trying to downplay it at all, but embracing it and challenging his players to fight through it and stay focused on the game. And for a majority of the game, Texas did a good job of doing that. Now, they did let the game slip late and give credit to Tennessee for fighting. But going into this game was not going to hit the over. Like, going into this game, this is going to be a slugfest. This is something that we talked about all last week. Texas defensively is just as good, if not better, than Tennessee. When you look at their rankings, I mean, they're right there with the top of the food chain. Mm-hmm. So Tennessee's offensive struggles going into this game. Texas and their defensive prowess. We knew this game was going to be the way it was. So there was no reason to turn on this game and expect for a 70 to 80 point battle. It wasn't going to happen. At 25 points in the first half for Tennessee, and 27 in the first half for Texas. I mean, this is going to be a slugfest type of game. And you had new players step up. New players step up and be the leading scorer. It's hard, Ben. It is hard when your leading scorer is only giving you 3 points. And you give credit to Texas. They did a good job on Vescovi. He didn't have a lot of open looks.
The only open look that I remember Santi having was the 3 under the final minute before Josiah's 3. Santi had one at kind of the left wing in front of Tennessee's bench and just did not make it. That's the only shot that I remember Santi having all night long. Is that one, and when he stepped to the free throw line in the first couple of minutes of the game, the only shots that I remember.
I mean, he took 8 shots and he was one for 8, but he probably had his worst game of the season. And again, you have to give Texas credit because they played Tennessee's strengths, and Vescovi is one of Tennessee's strengths. He just didn't have his game.
It like you, I did not expect Tennessee to come out and just put on an offensive clinic of basketball. A, because of Texas's defense, like you talked about. B, we've seen this Tennessee offense all year. Mm-hmm. But it was still so maddening to watch them play offense because there's a difference between a slugfest, a defensive slugfest, and just being anemic on offense. And that's what Tennessee is at times. They are abysmal on offense at times. They are guaranteed to have, at minimum, 1 5-minute stretch per game where they do not score the basketball. And it is the most absurd thing I've ever seen in my life. They had 3 points in 10 minutes, or was it 5 points in 10 minutes to start the second half? 5 points in 10 minutes to start the second half as Texas pulled away. And Texas wasn't doing anything great offensively. It's just Tennessee could not do anything offensively, so it made Texas's offense look even better. Now, Courtney Ramey, their 2-guard, he could not miss from 3. He had it. Felt like stuck on automatic.
50%.
Yes, he was very good. But aside from him, I mean, there wasn't much offensive firepower from Texas. It's just Tennessee's offense was that bad that it made Texas's offense look better than what it was. So that was the frustrating part to me is like, yes, we knew it was going to be a defensive slugfest, and it was. But there are stretches in games where it looks like Tennessee's offense is the worst in the country. I mean, they had a stretch in the first half to where they couldn't score for nearly 5 minutes. I think they had a second stretch in the first half where they nearly couldn't score for 5 minutes as well. So when you have nearly 2 stretches within 20 minutes in the same half of basketball where you don't score, and then you have 10 minutes in the second half of a game on the road against a great defense where you only score 5 points in 10 minutes, you're not going to win basketball games. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, couldn't make shots, man. It'd be one thing if Tennessee was close to 20 turnovers in a game and you struggled offensively. I mean, Tennessee only had 11 turnovers. And actually was +7 in the turnover margin. So you did a pretty good job taking care of the basketball. I mean, that's a pretty good number. I'm sure every coach would want below double digits, but I mean, 11 is a pretty good number. So,
especially when you look at what Texas was doing to teams going into the game. Texas was really turning teams over, and Tennessee did a good job of limiting its turnovers. I guarantee you, if you told Rick before the game, 11 turnovers over the course of 40 minutes against that Texas defense,
you take it.
He would take it all day long. I would have taken it all day long.
You take it, and I think a mark of a really good defense, especially this game, is to watch how many times that both teams, were trying to get a shot off as the shot clock was expiring. And Tennessee got caught a couple times, and that's just recognition. You got to do a better job of recognizing the shot clock and getting a shot up on the rim and giving yourself a chance to at least offensive rebound. I mean, if you don't even shoot it, that you're just giving the ball to the other team, at least you get it up on the rim, someone can offensive rebound, and possibly put the ball up in the hoop. But I look at the turnovers not being a problem. I look at a couple of the shot clock violations, and I look at our field goal percentage. We just couldn't make shots, man. 36% is not going to fly. And here we go again with the lack of concentration, focus, toughness, mental toughness at the free throw line, only shooting 50%, 8 out of 16. And you're not going to win any type of tough defensive games if you are shooting 50% from the free throw line. It's not going to happen. Texas was not that much better. They were actually worse. How can you be worse than 50% from the free throw line? But Texas managed to be worse at 41%, 42%, 5-4-12. But this is a game where, although you lost, you look at the surge late in the second half. Could this be something that this team can build on as you continue league play? Because league play is the most important thing here. Now, winning every game is obviously the objective, but you get back home and you play a Texas A&M team that's scrappy defensively,
and they're going to have a sense of urgency. They've lost 4 straight, and were embarrassed at home on Saturday against South Carolina. I know that they lost, and I believe it was by double digits, if I'm not mistaken. A double-digit loss to South Carolina on your home floor.
How you lose to South Carolina?
Yes, that's exactly that, and that's why I said they were embarrassed, even without knowing whether it was a single-digit or double-digit loss. Because how do you lose to South Carolina? Period, like
11.
You just said, and it was by double digits and at home.
Yeah, 11. Bad loss,
and that was their 4th straight. Now, granted, like one of those losses is to Kentucky, where they nearly pulled off the upset against Kentucky, and but the last 2 games, they lost this to South Carolina. Then was it Arkansas?
Arkansas by 3, LSU by 6. They lost.
Yes, and they choked the LSU game away. So that team is gonna come in here and have a sense of urgency. So Tennessee better be ready to play tomorrow night, because they've got a young man in the middle, Coleman, that will eat Tennessee's lunch.
Uros
and take the
Olivier.
lunch money for the next day.
Yeah, Uros and Olivier better have on their hard hat and be ready to go, man. That's all I gotta say.
Yes.
But Tennessee basketball is not the only thing that went down over the weekend. Get some Tennessee football recruiting that we have to and will get to. NFL playoffs, and unfortunately, we'll be watching Super Bowl without any Vols playing in it, man. I mean, we'll have Jock McClendon representing the Power T as he works for the Rams, but we don't have a former Tennessee player playing in the Super Bowl.
Because of Jimmy G.
Because the 49ers lost. That was 2 right there with Juwan and Mosley. And then the Chiefs lost with Trey Smith. So we don't have any representation on the field from Tennessee. So thanks a lot, Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes offensively just went brain dead, did not want to do anything in the third quarter. Just forgot that the game was still being played after being up 21-3.
The Chiefs deserve to lose. They spent the entire second half trying not to lose. They went Butch Jones in the second half. And what happens when you go Butch Jones in the second half of football games?
You lose.
You lose because you choked the lead away.
Yeah, you lose your edge, man.
Mm-hmm.
You stop being aggressive. You play to not win. You play not to lose instead of to win. And, I will say, man, Tennessee's, last play, it's hard to ask for much more. I mean, you want your best, three-point shooter shooting that shot, but 6 seconds, what's that, 4 dribbles and 2 passes, or 6 dribbles, and you got the ball up the court with a on-the-move Zakai Ziegler, who is one of your fastest players, if not the fastest player on the team. You got him going towards the basket. You allow him to penetrate. There was 4 Texas players right there. He did exactly what he was supposed to do, which is dish. You got an in-rhythm Josiah Jordan-James, who for the season has not shot well, but in this game was Tennessee's best shooter.
Yes, he hit the 3 to spark the run and hit one during the run. It was 3 of 6 at the time.
Yeah, so you got what you, I won't say wanted.
And I think that was plan B. I think plan A was get Ziegler to the rim after he had some nice finishes at the rim for 2 buckets on the previous 2 possessions. But Texas packed the paint with 4 guys, and he did a great job of recognizing it, not forcing it, and kicking it out to Josiah for a wide open look. And
in rhythm.
It wasn't wide open because he struggled from 3. It's wide open because Texas packed the lane and tried to stop Ziegler from getting to the basket.
Yeah.
He sucked the defense in. I mean, if you want to nitpick that, hey, you probably had time to swing it over to Santi, who was also open, then okay. I mean, I guess that's a fair nitpick. I don't understand spending a bunch of time and energy on that when Josiah was having the better game and is fully capable of knocking down that shot. And it was wide open, in rhythm. You drew up a beautiful play. It just didn't fall down. And Santi had just missed a wide open look as well. That could have given Tennessee the lead under that final minute.
Yep. 865-255-03. We'll take our first break of the day. Ben McKee, Jason Swain. Be right back.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Ben McKee, Jason Swain, Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Will Tennessee get some more help on the defensive line? Defensively, we know we need some assistance in that area.
A lot of it.
A lot of assistance in that area. And the transfer portal, along with targeting some high school players in the 2022 class, was an option for Tennessee, as National Sign Day is on Wednesday. Tennessee did get a commitment from Jason Jenkins, but also looking to add Auburn defensive line transfer Marquise Robertson, who came to Tennessee over the weekend, also made a visit to Missouri. And here's a quote from GoVols 247 that I thought was hilarious. He says, "Missouri, I don't want to say nothing bad about any school for real, but I will say there's a difference between Missouri and Tennessee. I mean, big difference. Facilities and like the way Mizzou runs their staff and the strength staff and the way Tennessee runs it is totally different." He also added that he's not ready to count Missouri out, but admitted it does kind of look like he's choosing more between Ohio State and Tennessee. And there's some other options here and there, but looks like those are the two teams. Ohio State got into it late. There is a sense of urgency for Marquise Robertson. If he wants to be a volunteer, Ben, he has to make that decision really, really, really quick.
Well, kind of. Because you say what you just said, because today is the ad drop date for UTK, the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Is it in Knoxville or at Knoxville?
Both. How about that?
Both. So today's the ad drop date, which is pretty clear. Gotta be signed up for classes. Today's the final day to go through the semester. So technically, yes, he's got to make a decision here pretty soon. But also, does he have to really? Because you can sign up for classes and just not go.
You could do that.
So, and I believe he went back to Auburn. So, and that was the plan all along. I don't know if that's to get his things or if he didn't feel comfortable making a decision to go back for the semester. I'm not sure. But yes and no, he has to make a decision pretty quick. Yes, because he needs to sign up for classes if he's going to go through the spring semester. But no, because technically he doesn't have to go through classes or go to classes, even if he does sign up while he makes a final decision. I mean, Missouri, Tennessee, or Ohio State. And I
go to Missouri. Not after those comments.
No.
Hey man, I'm not trying to be mean, but I mean, there's a difference between this school and that school, and yeah. I mean, he ain't going no damn Missouri, man.
He's from Georgia.
He ain't going to Missouri. It ain't happening.
I mean, his former teammate committed there on Friday. We'll touch on that during around the SEC, and I realize that there hasn't been a significant difference between Tennessee and Missouri on the football field. Where's he from?
Florida.
Florida, that's right.
Milton, Florida. There's
right.
the Milton, Georgia, but
I think that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he is from Florida.
But like, if you could go to Ohio State or be coached by Rodney Garner, why would you go to Missouri when it had to fire its defensive line coach like 4 games in last year, Jimmy Brumbaugh style, and their defense was terrible?
I think he understands that. Ohio State also had their first day of class was on the 24th too.
So we'll see. We will see.
Not every defensive lineman from Auburn or from another school that Rodney Garner recruited, not every player Rodney Garner wants. We have seen Rodney Garner say no thank you to several players that we assumed as fans he was going to want. This one he wants in Marquise Robertson. So, big old boy, 300. Played a little bit there. No, he redshirted last year. Excuse me, he redshirted last year. But he's athletic. He's big. Rodney wants him. That's all I need to know. Just like Jason Jenkins, the high school commitment for Tennessee. Like, I don't need to really know anything besides his name. That's it. I don't need to know anything. Just his name. That's it. Rodney Garner wants him? Okay, cool. I'm good. There's no reason to complicate this thing. No reason. If one of the most respected assistant coaches in the SEC in the last 25 years says, I want that kid, I don't care what the stars say. I don't care what some analysts say. I don't care. Rodney Garner has earned the right more than anybody else on the staff. Now, there are 2 coaches on this staff that I will definitely not question if they want to pick out a player. And there's a 3rd coach that I'll throw in there as well. Rodney Garner, defensive line, Josh Heupel, quarterbacks, and Willie Martinez, DBs. Hey, man, you guys have done it. You guys earned that right. How many stars you got? 0? Cool.
Yeah, ranked in
cool.
ranked in the 1,000s.
Cool.
Rodney Garner wants them.
Cool.
Now, I do hope that they're not taking a body just for the sake of taking a body at the end of this recruiting cycle just because they have it. Now, I don't know if if the spot was something that they would just lose if they didn't take somebody, or because it doesn't necessarily roll over.
No, you don't lose it.
So
you can use it towards the portal.
I mean, it seems like this young man was really hampered by COVID as well. His junior season, COVID severely impacted how many games that they could play, and I believe, and then his senior year, he really burst on to the scene and played well, and Tennessee found him in, I believe it was December or beginning of this month, and offered him, and went and verified his height and weight, verified his size, and felt good about bringing him in. And I know I'm supposed to have some hot take because I have a microphone in front of me, but this is something that I'm going to reserve judgment on until 2-3 years down the road, and until we see whether the evaluation was spot on or if Tennessee was incorrect in bringing him in. There's just no way of telling right now, especially me and most people listening, because we don't know defensive line play like Rodney Garner or these football coaches. So I'll reserve judgment until 2 to 3 years down the road. I've been talking about this for several months now, that my new philosophy on recruiting rankings and just recruiting in general is that the coaches deserve the benefit of the doubt more than the recruiting services, and I'm going to wait and reserve judgment to see whether they pan out, and then judge the ability to recruit.
6'6", can't teach that. If he has a mean streak, he's 6'6", he's athletic, and he's coachable. A guy like Rodney Garner is going to be like, oh, okay, I can coach this. Because there was a transfer from Auburn that was more talented coming out of high school. Measurables looked better. And Rodney Garner was like, nah, I'm good. And that player was going to go to JUCO, but he wound up getting a transfer, or taking his transfer and going to Liberty. I'm talking about Jay Hardy. Jay Hardy looked like he was probably more athletic and physically better than Jason Jenkins coming out of high school, but I hope that we have learned that that's not everything. I can take a wide receiver that can run, got a nice size, coachable, and has good work ethic. I can take that receiver and go make him an all-conference player.
Cedric Tillman.
Yeah, I mean, I really can.
Cedric Tillman, coachable, works hard, has some traits that you can't really teach, and good kid. And what do you know? He's got some good coaching on this offensive staff as a whole, and has turned into an all-conference receiver.
Yep. So you just never know, man. I'm not getting caught up in no rankings, especially a player that Rodney Garner, Willie Martinez, or Josh Heupel identifies at a certain position. Now these other dudes, I don't really know them like that, and they haven't earned the right for me to just feel confident. I'll just be honest.
Yes.
I haven't met everybody. Obviously, they've done great as a staff together, but Golich has not earned the right for me to not question him bringing in a tight end, or Tim Banks is the defense coordinator. If you want to bring in a linebacker, I think John Marie is dang good linebacker coach, but he's not Rodney Garner yet. So those three coaches, Heupel, Garner, Martinez, you see something in the kid, we with you, man. We with you. We give you the benefit of the doubt. We trust you until this, it doesn't work out. But other guys, I don't know much about.
We'll see with Jason Jenkins. That's the best way to put it. That is the best way to put it. And again, I've really adopted the mindset of reserving judgment until 2 to 3 years down the road. And I realize that that's not always what people want to hear, but we don't have a ton to go off of, to be quite honest.
I mean, he had a West Virginia offer. Justin Williams had a West Virginia offer that actually committed. And so, I mean, Jenkins could have been like Justin Williams. He could have been a committed player to West Virginia and flipped to Tennessee the same way.
Yep.
Could have happened. So,
and there are things to like about Jason Jenkins, like you mentioned, Swain. I mean, he has good size at 6'6", and this coaching staff offensively and defensively is big on versatility. And according to him, that's something that Rodney Garner communicated to him that they like about his game is that he'll start at defensive end, but he has the versatility to play all over the defensive line. So he's got good size, he's got versatility. He has a quick burst off the line of scrimmage, according to those who have seen him play, and then his recruitment was affected by COVID because he could barely play his junior season. So maybe this is somebody that was lost in the shuffle because of COVID. There's going to be a lot of those type of players over the next, I don't even know how long, 2, 3, 4 years.
Maybe. Yeah.
I guarantee you there will be an uptick in stories done over the next couple of years of guys who had 1 or 2 offers coming out of high school because they could not play their sophomore, junior, or senior season because of COVID. And just there was no tape on them, and they couldn't go to camps. They couldn't get to schools for these schools and coaches to look at them. And because of that, they severely flew under the radar. Well, I think we're going to get a ton of these stories over the next couple of years. And Tennessee has some of those type of guys coming in as we currently speak, and we'll see if it pans out. But there are some things to like there. Again, versatility, size, burst off the line of scrimmage. And I like that, you know. I feel bad for the kid, but from a Tennessee perspective and in terms of the glass half full approach, like I kind of like that he didn't get to play his junior season because that makes it a possibility that he was overlooked. I would feel a little bit differently if he had played a full high school career and then only had a couple of offers coming out. Not saying that can't happen or doesn't happen, but it makes me feel a little bit better that, you know, part of the reason he didn't have a ton of offers is because he didn't get to play a ton of high school football.
247 has him ranked as the Tennessee, 247 has Tennessee ranked as the 14th best class, and the Rivals has Tennessee ranked as the 11th best class. So, I mean, you're knocking down the top 10 finish in recruiting. It's crazy when you think about it.
The only thing I don't like about this kid is that he spells his name with a Y.
That's the best thing I like about him.
A Jason spelling his name with a Y is always suspect. You should always have your antenna up when
that's how you spell it.
Dealing with you spell Jason Jason, no Y.
Johnson?
Jason.
That's Johnson.
No,
because if you take off the SON, it's Ja, like Ja Morant.
How do you pronounce the first letter in the alphabet? In Spanish, yes.
Johnson. Ja Morant. Jay is how you spell it.
Now, if you want to bring Ja Morant into this, I'll agree with you. Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because of Ja.
I was laying that trap down, see if he was gonna step in it.
I was laying my trap down, seeing if you were gonna step in it.
See if you're gonna throw shade at Ja or not. Ja Morant, Ja.
That's how his family chose for it to be pronounced.
You put an SON, it's Johnson.
The
not
first,
Jason.
The A is pronounced as A, which is where you get the Jason.
Nope, Brian Kelly. That's not how you say it.
I just sound Kelly there. I don't know what's more cringeworthy. I think the dancing is more cringeworthy than the family.
Brian Kelly was dancing on the recruit like it was Freaknik in Atlanta.
I know. That the dancing is more disturbing than than him saying family.
Was it a Soul Train line? I think Brian Kelly was kind of twerking a little bit.
Look, if I was that recruit, I would have been very uncomfortable. I also don't think that the recruit realized what he was doing until afterwards.
Hey, man, what you doing back there, Brian? Unless you're putting money in my pockets, you need to come around and stay in front of me.
Like, that's the latest thing that I hate the most in terms of recruiting. Our coaches in that style dancing with recruits. Like, if you want to try to make Nick Saban do the Dougie in your living room, all right, that's one thing. Or do the Cabbage Patch, that's one thing in your living room. But dancing behind them on recruiting visits.
It's so cringe-worthy, man.
Ugh.
It's so cringe-worthy.
And just poor Brian Kelly. He can't do anything right. He can't do anything right. He could come out and say that the sky is blue today, and people will just argue with him for the sake of arguing with him.
He just never did this stuff before, and now he's all of a sudden doing it because he kind of has to do it. He feels he is trying to be someone he's not to fit inside of the SEC. That's the funny part. But maybe this is who he is all along, and maybe Notre Dame and Cincinnati was holding him back from being his real self. Maybe. Hour 1 is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Stay with us.
At work, can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together we can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at nobodytrashestennessee.com.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Homes remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Guys, the Cincinnati Bengals are in the Super Bowl.
Do we have to put them on Attaboy?
How do you not put the Bengals on Attaboy today?
Because one of us is a salty Steelers fan. That's how.
2 years ago, this team had the number 1 overall pick. Not because they traded for it, but because they had the worst record in the NFL. And they went out and selected Joe Burrow, who is from Ohio. And 2 years later, 2 years later, he leads the Bengals to their first playoff win in 31 years. And then they go on the road and beat the number 1 overall seed in the Tennessee Titans. And then they go on the road and beat the Dynasty Super Bowl champions of 2 years ago, Kansas City Chiefs. It is an attaboy for the Cincinnati Bengals and the city of Cincinnati. The diehard fans, the fans that never wavered, but probably thought about doing it. I'm giving an attaboy and attagirl to just the city of Cincinnati, man. A lot of attention will go to Joe Burrow, but man, that Bengals defense did a really good job there in the second half against the Chiefs, and that was the reason why they were able to get back into that game. And we've got to give a lot of credit to Cincinnati. Happy for them. And it's going to be should be an offensive driven Super Bowl. It really should be. So storylines may not be as good as maybe some other matchups, but still has a chance to be a good game. That's my attaboy for today. The Bengals, the city of Cincinnati.
You don't want to give one to the Rams?
Nah. They was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
The Matthew Stafford story is really, really cool. And I hope that he can go out and win it since there's no VFLs to root for. And I selfishly hate the Bengals, being a Steelers fan, but the Bengals storyline is very, very neat. And I hate that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase play for the Bengals. I know that they weren't necessarily the reason the Bengals won yesterday. The defense gets a lot of credit for that, as you mentioned. But Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, impossible not to like those two. Mm-hmm. Just awesome personalities. Even more awesome personalities. I hate that Joe Burrow is a Bengal because I wish he played for the Bears or the Vikings, a team that I don't care for, so that I can root for him. He's the man. He is absolutely the man, and everybody wants to talk about Lamar Jackson. Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in that division, and it's not even really close if you want to get into that conversation. And Jamar Chase is just unreal. I know Tennessee fans may feel a certain type of way about T. Higgins because he went to Clemson, but cool to see one of our own here in East Tennessee going to the Super Bowl along with Von Bell, a Chattanoogan. So there's a couple of interesting things there. The photo of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase's dad smoking cigars after the game together, that was really cool. I just hate that they play for the Bengals, but it is what it is. I do want to give an attaboy to the Halls boys basketball team. If you are from East Tennessee and were on social media this weekend, you saw this story going around all over the weekend, as it absolutely should have. And I'm sure if you simply pay attention to East Tennessee, you saw this as well. But Hall's boys basketball team manager, Maddox Shields, who has been the boys basketball team manager over the past 4 years. He was able to suit up on Friday night, on senior night, and had a chance to not only suit up for the first time, but start the game and take part of the starting lineup and lead the team onto the court, and made a layup when leading the team on the court. Maddox has Down syndrome, and again had been the boys basketball team manager over the past 4 years, and then he was surprised on senior night, which was Friday night, with a chance to suit up and take the court as part of the starting lineup. And again, my favorite part was him when he did lead the team out onto the floor for layup lines. He dribbled down the ball to where they were going to warm up, and he made a basket. That was really cool moment, and cool to see him introduced in the starting lineup. So attaboy to Maddox Shields and Hall's boys basketball team.
Yeah, that's a good one right there, man. I watched the video, and man, it's hard not to
get you.
Yeah, drop some tears on that one and get emotional. That really pulled at my heartstrings there. But man, just really good story, and cool that it happened right here in East Tennessee and in Knoxville. Attaboy brought to you by Iris Networks. 90 days, no payment for fiber internet and voice. IrisNetworksUSA.com. Yeah, man, the Bengals.
So you want the Bengals to win the Super Bowl?
If I had to pick which team I wanted to win.
I know you don't feel strongly one way or the other. But
yeah, I mean,
it's not the Super Bowl if you're not rooting for one of the teams, right?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna root for whatever team's gonna help me win some money. So I haven't decided who I'm putting money on. But,
if money wasn't involved.
Well, I mean, I want to see T. Higgins win, and T. Higgins wanted to come to Tennessee and try to give Tennessee every chance to step up and you know, have a culture and an environment. I mean, he committed to Tennessee. He wanted to come here, but he couldn't. And you understand, but what he has been to that Oak Ridge community is priceless. Giving those young kids a reason to believe, seeing someone right there from the same neighborhood, from the same rec center, from the same school, go on to do great things. I mean, you give those young boys and girls a reason to believe. So I want him to continue to do that and win the Super Bowl, man. So if I had to pick without any money being on the line, I would probably say T. Higgins and the Bengals. I don't feel that way about Von Bell. He's from Chattanooga. Grew up as a Tennessee fan, but went to Ohio State. I mean, T. Higgins really tried. He tried, man. He just couldn't. Just like Kate Mays and a lot of other players. They tried to give Tennessee the benefit of the doubt. They just tried. They just couldn't do it. Things just, wasn't in place for that to happen. So I think it'll be a good game, though. I really do. But that stage is set. 2 weeks. I'll be crashing your Super Bowl party, Ben.
Come on over. I'll have my man cave finally done by then. So come on over. Watch it with me.
You gonna be serving Hot Pockets and bagel bites at your Super Bowl party. I can see it now.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know about that, dude. I don't know about that. You know the game's gonna be over like 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
On Super Bowl Sunday, so I don't know, man. I don't know. But 2 weeks, we get the last football game for a couple months.
Couple.
When's the new league coming out?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a new league coming out, man. They're gonna do it again.
Yeah. It's football, but it doesn't necessarily move the needle for me.
Yeah, I know. Hour 2 coming up.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Hey there, Swain Event fam. I've been thinking about other ways I can assist you with the real estate world. As you know, it's not just about buying, selling, and investing in new property today. It's also being a resource when you need a contractor or roofer. Or maybe you need a real estate attorney to assist with probate questions. Or maybe you have a family member in Alabama that needs a realtor to help them sell their home and get the heck out of there and back to Tennessee. All of these things and more are in my wheelhouse. So give me a call, Jennifer Morris, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself but still want that fresh look, then sign up for the NN Society. Let the experts handle the shopping and get $300 worth of merchandise for just $150 every other month. That's 6 times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you, because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Touchdown turnover backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong. Better rates and better service. Ben McKee, Jason Swain. Hour 2 is already here. And we were talking a little bit during the break about football being over in 2 weeks. Super Bowl. But you do get football in 74 days with the USFL, because they're back. They're back with 8 teams. And you have the Michigan Panthers. You have the New Jersey Generals, the Philadelphia Stars. I feel like that's a hockey team.
Dallas Stars.
You have the Pittsburgh Maulers, Tampa Bay Bandits, New Orleans Breakers, Houston Gamblers, and Birmingham Stallions. Told Ben, I was like, man, there's no way I'm rooting for an Alabama team, a professional team from Alabama. Not going to happen.
Stallions?
What I say? Yeah, Stallions. Stallions.
Calling themselves the Stallions?
Stallions, I guess.
Isn't a stallion a horse?
Yes, stallion.
And I've never seen a horse in Birmingham. Have you?
No. I mean, what else Birmingham is going to be known for?
What are they?
I guess
the Iron City.
Yeah.
Or the, what are they called? The Magic City.
No, that's not the Magic City.
They call themselves something like the Magic City.
It's the Iron City.
They have there's this new nickname that starts with an M. I'm pretty sure they call themselves the Magic City.
Is it?
I
thought about something else when you said Magic City. So my bad.
Well, that Magic City is much better than the Birmingham Magic City. Where's Vaughn, Birmingham? Yeah, the Magic City. The city's most recognized nickname refers to its rapid growth, first used by James Powell in 1973. And then the Steel City, which it can't be the Steel City. That's Pittsburgh.
Well, Birmingham and Pittsburgh, out of all the cities in the country, were like headlined as being like known for the steel production and steel work.
I know you Google Birmingham nicknames, and the third one is the Pittsburgh of the South. Oh, what have I done?
You okay, man? You're all right. All right, touchdown turnover. The USFL will make it. And we've seen the AAFL. We've seen all kinds of different leagues be introduced and released. This one has a little bit of a different feel to it. I mean, this is back in the day right here. This is when, Steve Youngs of the world got his debut in the USFL. Herschel Walker was in there. I think he was Herschel Walker. But the USFL is back. Do they last more than a season? Touchdown or turnover? It looks like they have some backing from Fox Sports that may make a difference. I mean, I didn't think the Big Three with Ice Cube would last more than one season, but here they are. I think there's a need for a feeder football program. Can't just be the CFL with all these different rules that they have. There should be a developmental league, like we see with the NBA. It should be. Can it happen when you have 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense, and a roster of 50, and you have 8 teams? I mean, that's a lot of people you have to pay. Can they survive? Touchdown turnover, we will see the USFL more than one season.
One season.
More than one season.
I'll say touchdown. I think more than one season. I mean, I would be surprised if it's a thing a decade from now.
You watching?
Will I watch it?
You watching? You gonna watch? It's okay.
I will only watch if there's nothing else on TV. I would rather, me personally, and I know this is strictly me personally, I would rather watch SEC baseball. I would rather watch Major League Baseball and my Yankees. I would rather watch golf, depending on the tournament. It just depends on what else is going on that weekend. If it's the only thing on, then I'll watch it because, unfortunately, all I do is watch sports. I'm always watching something. It doesn't really matter the sport, whatever's on. It's typically at minimum on a second TV. So I'm sure I'll vaguely pay attention to it, but it's not gonna surpass baseball for me or even golf. I enjoy watching those two things more than I will enjoy watching this football league. And who knows? Maybe circumstances change. Maybe one team adds a bunch of VFLs.
Hey.
And that changes my outlook on it.
Hey, Larry Fisher, man. Not Larry Fisher. You got Jeff Fisher coaching the Michigan team, and then Larry Fedor is coaching the New Orleans team. So you got a former college coach in North Carolina and Southern Miss, Larry Fedor was, and then you got Jeff Fisher who's been trying to get every head coaching job for the last 3 or 4 years. It seems like he tried to get the ETSU job, tried to get the Tennessee job. He got himself a job.
Congrats to Michigan on going 500 in the first year. I don't know. Just right now, it's not going to move the needle with me a ton. I mean, I will somewhat pay attention to it because all I do is watch sports and read about sports and pay attention to sports to a fault. But it's not gonna. I'm not gonna plan my day around it. I can tell you that.
Season will begin April the 16th and run through mid-June, followed by the playoffs. The first game will feature the Generals against the Stallions, see, the Birmingham team, and will kick off at 7:30 p.m. Saturday, April the 16th. The game will air on both Fox and NBC, making it the first scheduled sporting event to air on competing broadcast networks since the Super Bowl 1967. How about that, Ben? Be a part of history, Ben. Be a part of history.
Will you watch?
Yeah, I watched it a little bit. We'll see how they're able to hold my attention. I think with VFLs, it will hold my attention just fine. But all 8 teams will play in Birmingham, Alabama, at both Protective Stadium and Legion Field. So all the games we played in Birmingham. So all these dudes that want to play football past college, looking for an opportunity to play at the next level, the NFL, you got to live in Birmingham.
So, like, the team from Michigan is playing in Birmingham?
Dude. All 8 teams we played in Birmingham, Alabama.
Because those other teams don't have places to play?
Nah.
What's the point of having teams from Pittsburgh and Michigan and all the other places if they're all just going to play in Birmingham?
Hey, man.
Are they going to play at the Hoover Met? They've got a new indoor facility over there. They're going to play there?
Skip Hopes will be the coach of the Birmingham Stallions. Kirby Wilson, Mike Riley, Todd Haley. How about Todd Haley? You remember Todd Haley?
That team's going to lose miserably.
It's your former offense coordinator. Kevin Sumlin is coaching a team.
Kevin Sumlin, Todd Haley, and Jeff Fisher.
Yep, and Bart Andrus.
Who?
Coaching, huh? Bart.
Who?
Bart. Not Bart Simpson, but Bart.
Who is he? Am I supposed to know who he is?
I don't know, but that's what's going on, man, in a couple months. So football will be over as far as NFL in 2 weeks, but then we get more football.
When is this being played?
April.
Oh, yeah. See, I won't be watching.
Mid-April.
Because Ja will be leading the Grizzlies to its first ever NBA championship, so definitely will not be paying attention at that point.
Right. 865-255-03.
You think it survives more than a year?
No.
I mean, I'll give them like 2-3 years.
No.
That'd be nice, I guess.
They won't. They won't. John K says Michigan will go 8-8 with Jeff Fisher, even if they don't play 16 games. Pizza Mon says, y'all not rooting for Jeff Fisher? Yeah, man, I'll root for Jeff Fisher. I'll root for him to be successful.
I'm not rooting against him.
Yeah. Jamie G says, I feel like deja vu. I'm watching Pruitt's offense his last year when I watched Tennessee basketball team on offense. I don't have that feeling.
I do.
I have a feeling of, because the games are different. I mean, it's not like these dudes are sleepwalking and uninspired. The coaching is terrible. I mean, the quarterback play is terrible. You got to play one guy even when he's terrible. I don't feel that way at all watching our offense. It's just, you didn't make shots. I mean, we sit here watching the game, and Olivia has a pretty turnaround and hit every part of the rim. It just didn't go down. But for people that love the points and getting up down the court, you love offense, I get it. It was not pretty at all. But I ain't going to be disrespectful and mention anybody with Pruitt. That was atrocious.
That's fair.
That Pruitt offense was atrocious. Taking a play sheet, calling plays, calling the wrong plays, resulting in pick sixes. Offense has not been, fun to watch with Tennessee basketball. But, man, defensively, they're fun to watch, and the intensity's there, the effort is there. They just gotta make shots, man.
Well, we've been saying that for 2 years with pretty much the same guys.
Ain't the same guys.
So, Santi and Josiah, and Santi hasn't necessarily been the issue in the shooting regard, but Josiah, Folky, Olivier, Victor Bailey Jr., and now you've got some newcomers who have come along, and they're not making shots either. So
what is it then? Rick forgot how to teach dudes how to shoot?
No.
Got to be something.
Well, I think it's something to do with the recruiting profile.
Well, yeah,
quite frankly,
we agree. We agree there. I mean,
this offense is not fun to watch. I'm not going to compare it to Pruitt.
It's not fun to watch.
I hate watching this offense. I do. I do not enjoy it at all. I do not look forward to it whatsoever. There are so many issues. Roster construction is a big issue of how Tennessee got to this point. Then on top of that, you can't make shots. You don't have a post player you can go to. It's clear that we're at the end of January. There's a month left of the regular season. And it has been clear for weeks that you cannot count on anybody in the post on this team, yet there are still lineups routinely on the floor consisting of 2 post players at a time.
You got to match size sometimes.
I understand that, but to me, in my opinion, it is a bigger flaw for Tennessee to have 2 post players on the floor than to have a small lineup on the floor. I would rather be small against a bigger team than to have 2 post players on the floor.
Well, if you lose a lot defensively by having a smaller lineup, then I would say no. But if you can maintain defensively, and I think this all depends on who you play. It's all about matchups. It's all about who you play. If the opposing team got 2, dudes like Arizona, in the post, are you able to put Josiah on one of the 6'11" dudes who's a banger? Maybe, maybe not. But I think it all depends on who you're playing. I think our small ball lineup is our best lineup. When you have Chandler and you have Zakai and you have Vescovi in there with Josiah, we saw this team battle back and get to the game with that lineup, except for Kennedy. I mean, Kennedy didn't play at the end, but like our small lineup is our better lineup offensively. But is it defensively? That's the question, and so you don't want to give up too much defensively when you're trying to add some pieces and construct a lineup that is better for you offensively. So I think it just varies on the team that you play and the personnel that you go up against each and every game.
And foul trouble will also dictate what you can do, obviously. So I realize that it's not as cut and dry as me saying that. I recognize that because of personnel on other teams and foul trouble and circumstances just simply change. But just on paper, just evaluating this team, that small ball lineup is by far, I mean, it's not even close to being the best lineup that Rick Barnes can roll out. I mean, it's not even close. Tennessee was rolling with 2 post players for the majority of the game, and they couldn't score for the majority of the game. And then they finally go away from 2 post players and to the small ball lineup. And what do you know? The offense starts making shots.
And got stops.
And got stops. Because I agree with what you're saying about the defense, but as it applies to Tennessee, I don't think that they lose much, if anything, defensively, because you're taking out 1 post player and you're putting in Zakai Ziegler. And Zakai's good on defense, and Josiah is capable of holding his weight against most 4s. I'm not gonna say all 4s because, like your Arizona example is a good example of that not probably working in Tennessee's favor. But if I recall correctly, I mean they went to Josiah at the 4 and Folke at the 5 because Folke was the best post player that particular game, and it worked. So I don't know that they lose a ton of defense, just kind of being cut and dry, because you add Ziegler, and Ziegler is a good defender.
I'm glad you said what you just said though about what they did against Texas, because I think it lines up with what I said in the opening segment, which was that surge that we saw from Tennessee in the second half. Maybe it can. Obviously, there was a spark there, but maybe it can carry over into the rest of SEC play. Like when you're in a big time hole, you're in the foxhole, you're gonna fight out with your guys. And this team fought out of that foxhole. They just came up, a point short, but that fight and what they were able to accomplish offensively, and then you had defensive stops against a solid Texas team. Maybe this is something that they can carry over into Texas A&M. Play LSU, you play Kentucky, when you play in Auburn, when you play in some of these, Arkansas, South Carolina, you play in the rest of this SEC schedule. Maybe something that happened in the Texas game can be carried over. So you might be on something, man. Might be on something. Maybe this is that smaller lineup that had Bailey in. Maybe you can continue to do it, and maybe Bailey is a guy that you can count on, or maybe that's Kennedy Chandler in that situation. But you can play small and still play good defense. You did against Texas. So,
and most teams are smaller nowadays anyways. So, 5-10 years ago, Tennessee probably can't use this lineup as much as it is using or needs to use it. But teams are constructed differently now. This new age style of basketball, most coaches want more guards on the floor and typically have a smaller four. That's why you hear them referred to as fours more than power forwards. The days of power forwards and Rasheed Wallace and Zach Randolph are almost over.
Even though Rasheed's shooting more threes than guards.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, like,
those guys play the 5 and you roll with a smaller lineup.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're seeing it. Yeah, we're seeing it. Can Tennessee do that?
They need to. That is for sure, because it is by far their best offense, and I think it's still good defensively. And then who you roll with at the 5 is based on the other team's personnel and which post player is having the best game. Because I'll be honest, I'm tired of the post players. Every single one of them. I'm tired of all 4 of them. Brandon Huntley-Hatfield never looks like he wants to be there. John Fulkerson just simply is not playing well. He's had spurts since COVID of where he has looked like the guy that we wish would show up 24/7. He didn't look good against Texas, but the 3 games prior, Vanderbilt, LSU, and Florida, he played well in those games. But I mean, even still, he's not somebody that can carry this team. Uroš Plavšič, I mean, I don't know. Uroš, he's going to have some good games, but for the most part, he just kind of is what he is. And then, I mean, I like what Olivier brings defensively. He's just not efficient offensively, and it makes no sense. It's like he doesn't have a feel for the game. That's kind of what my opinion is of Olivier. He is a freak athletically, but it's like he doesn't have a feel for the game in the sense of, like, he doesn't know when to put touch on the ball or
not foul at half court, the 3-point heave.
Well, that was on the offensive player, Swain. I mean, that wasn't a foul. He jumped right into Olivier.
Let's go to the phones. Let's get to our guy, Tremel. Tremel, good morning.
What it do, fellas?
What's up, Tremel?
How y'all doing?
Man, good. How are you?
Good, man. This basketball team, man. Geez. We was talking about this before the season started, though, like that they should, with what we had and, the guard play, that small ball might be. Now, this is us thinking in the future, you know what I'm saying, when we was talking about, well, y'all was talking about, the different lineups that we could possibly go with, I was more intrigued by the small ball lineup, but now even more, you know what I'm saying, because, I mean, we don't have to play small ball the whole game. I mean, it's a whole game. I mean, you can put that. I don't know. I don't know what Rick's doing. It's very confusing to me. I see a lot of people say that he's probably lost the team.
No,
he hasn't lost the team.
Done that. Rick is playing the guys who play the best that day, and because there's no one besides Vescovis that was consistent leading up until Saturday, there's going to be someone new each game. And so that's the problem for Rick, is like the people that you thought you can count on each and every game, you can't. So there's someone new stepping up, and you just never know who it might be. And for Tennessee on Saturday, it was Josiah Jordan-James, and it was Zakai Ziegler.
I mean, dude, this team like really confuses me. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's as much talent as we have. And like you said, some guy like Folky, it seems like he got his powers taken by the little aliens, Monstars.
Space Jam monsters, the Monstars.
Yeah, Monstars. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, dude, what's going on? And is it okay? So that's more Rick's style of play with the bigs down low. And I noticed that we're playing a new offense, and he's still trying to play his offense in his. You know what I'm saying? He's still trying to play his style of offense in the new offense. Like, is that what's kind of hindering us? You know what I'm saying? But like you said, he's playing the best guys at the best time. But
I think the issue is that some misevaluations are catching up to him. Misevaluations in recruiting are catching up to him. He's brought these guys in to run his system, and some of these guys have not panned out. And you when the guys you bring in to run your system don't pan out, you can't run your system. So he's having, and I think that's why each game he's kind of moved to that smaller lineup, because it's just the system that he wants to run with the personnel he has brought in is not working because of some misevaluation. That's my opinion of it.
And one more thing. So in football, when you lose a coach, you know what I'm saying, it could be super detrimental. But I would think basketball, it would be more detrimental to what the chemistry and everything that you're having. He just lost we've lost 2-3 coaches in the past 3 years. I mean, I'm almost certain a couple of our guys went and got head coaching gig places, and you would think the chemistry in basketball would hurt a little bit more than in the coaching aspect than football, maybe. Would y'all agree or disagree?
I don't think it's like football. I mean, you can lose a home run type of offensive coordinator. And take 2008, for example, Tennessee lost David Cutcliffe, and they went out and they hired, Dave Clawson. And Dave Clawson's a good offensive mind. It just was a terrible fit. And the team went from competing and winning in the Outback Bowl and, playing in Atlanta in 2007 to being terrible in 2008. So I think losing a coordinator in football can be more detrimental than an assistant in basketball. Not downplaying the impact that an assistant coach has, because you look at Michael Schwartz, and I mean he is very, very important.
And he'll be another guy that he has to replace. It's just a matter of time before Schwartz gets a head coaching job. He turned down multiple coaching jobs this past coaching cycle, not like big time gigs of like going to Marquette or somewhere like that, but some lower level schools in Texas and California, and it's just a matter of time before he becomes a head coach, and then that pretty much initial staff will all have head coaching gigs somewhere else.
Yeah, but Tennessee.
I mean, you don't think that?
Go ahead.
You don't think it's more detrimental? I mean, because I'm just thinking about the coaching aspect, and like when I'm coaching, and then sometimes I can't be two places at the same time. Somebody I trust a little bit more running my system. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's having to be.
How's that different? But how's that much different than football? Football, you having one dude call plays, and if he's a really, really, really good at it, then
we're talking about offensive coordinator though. Like,
I'm talking about offensive or defensive coordinator.
Yeah, well, I'm not actually talking about a court. I mean, because the guy coaching under Rick wouldn't be calling the plays, would he?
No, because it's basketball. I mean, they run sets. And they run out of bound plays and things like that, but like they're not calling plays every like play on offense. They get the ball, they in transition, they have their secondary break, and then they get into their offense, their motion offense, which is something that Rick has taught for years and years and years. And it's about reading and reacting inside that motion offense. So football is different, where like you have one person literally calling the play every time you have the ball. Then you have a defensive coordinator calling plays on defense. So I just think
I guess more like a linebacker's coach. I guess I would look at an assistant as a basketball assistant more as a linebacker's coach or a D-line coach or actual position coach, and not I guess not comparing him to a defensive offensive coordinator in the thing that I'm trying to compare anyway.
So you're talking non-coordinator assistants.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying like losing the thing.
I still say football.
Is like him losing his guys, his main guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just think it would be a little bit more detrimental losing a basketball assistant to somebody that you could trust. Like, okay, I'm going down here on the other end to actually teach you. I need you down here running this, but what if he's not running it like how he wants it? The new guy, he has to come down there and show him and take away from. I don't know.
That's not a problem in Tennessee. Rick ain't gonna bring nobody in that doesn't share the same philosophy.
Okay. I mean, right.
Well, and football coaches have to deal with that too, right?
Yeah, but I think football is more detrimental because, like, all right, you got 12 to 14 players on the basketball court, and you're not going to get away with one position not being coached up because everyone is playing at once. Like, everyone's playing at once. It's a skill sport. In football, we literally had a position at linebacker 2 years ago that was not coached.
Literally.
like you had a position that was not coached at all. It cost you.
That same year, you had tight ends teaching the tight end coach what to do.
Yeah, so like I just think football assistants, losing those guys or those guys not performing well is more impactful.
You can use in the street though, because we do the unfortunate events like Jim Carrey or something, man.
And to what you're talking about, Tramel, Rick Barnes stands at mid-court during practice. Schwartz will take typically the guards to one side.
Y'all educate me.
And then
I ain't know it. Y'all educate me.
Justin Gainey will take the post players to the other side, and they rotate as well. But one assistant will have the guards and whatnot on one side. The other assistant will have the post players on the other side, and Rick will stand at mid-court and watch both and interject when he feels like he needs to. So he kind of stands at the middle and sees it all, whereas in football, Heupel can't do that. There's too much going on, and you have to rely on your assistants more in football than you do in basketball because there's more people and more to cover.
I will say this, Tramel, on your point, maybe an assistant is able to pull in a post player. Because
we need somebody, right?
Yeah, because like look at our assistant coaches that have left over the last couple of years and how big of an impact that they play in recruiting, especially Kim English. So Kim English was a big reason why we were able to get a legitimate shot at Paulo Banchero, how you say his name? But that was Kim English, man. Like, we had us in there with the real shot. So you could say, like, all right, man, the assistants that we have lost, it has hurt our ability to recruit post players. I think that's fair. That's a fair assessment to make. And
well, post players, the recruitment of post players has been an issue long before Kim English was at Tennessee.
But Kim probably could have helped him, man, if he was here for longer than 2 years.
Well, no doubt about it. But I mean, Kim gave Tennessee a great shot and all, but never brought in one.
Yeah.
So that's also something to consider. And Paulo Banchero really did like Tennessee and loved Kim English because of Kim English. So I'm not trying to discredit that, but like the post has been an issue since Grant Williams left. And aside from Grant, I mean if you want to lump Folke in, I mean Grant and Folke are the only two post players that have worked out Rick's entire tenure.
Kyle was pretty good.
And Kyle.
Was good.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a pro player.
3 over 7 years. When
transfers.
When you look at DJ Burns.
Yep.
Zach Kent.
Yep.
You look at Urosh and Olivier. They're not working out.
How about my man that went to Nebraska?
Derek Walker. Like in totality, like the recruitment and evaluation. I guess more so the evaluations of post players outside of Grant, Folke, and Kyle have not been good.
Fair.
And Folky has the last 2 years have not gone the way that anybody expected.
Yeah, fair. 865-255-03. Be right back. Stay with us. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
In this day and age, the way we work is changing and evolving. Businesses still moving forward despite your work location changing and supply shortages affecting a number of different areas. Office furniture is not immune to the halt in the supply chain. This is why Office Furniture Outfitters has purchased desks, chairs, and tables in bulk to provide you with in-stock options for your place of business, no matter if it's in an office building or at your house. Office Furniture Outfitters is the local supplier for Herman Miller, and they keep Aeron chairs in stock. They will come to your office, lay out, and make recommendations. No project is too big or too small. You can visit them on location at 17th Street and Grand Avenue in the Fort Sanders area or online at ofonox.com or give them a call at 865-524-3003. Office Furniture Outfitters, providing East Tennessee's biggest selection and best value for office furniture since 1995.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
Time for Around the SEC. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hour 2 is brought to you by Action 247, Tennessee's only legal sports book. Use the promo code Swain Event, and Action will double your deposit up to $800 on your first deposit, folks. So first timers, first deposit up to $800. They will double your deposit. That is Action 247. Give them a follow at TN Action 247 on Twitter. Around the SEC, Ben, it's Monday, so I know you got a jam-packed list of notes there that you want to share with the good people.
Yes, a lot to discuss this morning. We'll start with basketball since we've been talking basketball. For the second year in a row, the SEC won the Big 12 SEC Challenge 6-4. Arkansas beat West Virginia. Auburn beat Oklahoma. Alabama beat Baylor. Ole Miss beat Kansas State. Florida beat Oklahoma State. And Kentucky beat Kansas. The losses, TCU lost to LSU. Iowa State lost to Missouri. Texas Tech, or I should say TCU beat LSU. Iowa State beat Missouri. Texas Tech beat Mississippi State. And then Texas beat Tennessee. And although the SEC won the challenge, it wasn't the biggest SEC news of the weekend. The biggest news of the SEC weekend in regards to basketball took place on Friday night when Auburn announced that it had agreed to a new 8-year contract that runs through 2030 with Bruce Pearl. And people are calling this a lifetime contract because Bruce, who is about to turn 62 next month, did you know this? I did not realize he was that old. Mm-hmm. It makes sense when you think how long he's been coaching. I mean, he's at Tennessee forever. Had some years off before he got to Auburn. He's already been at Auburn for 7 years. Was that, what was it, Wisconsin, Milwaukee?
Yeah, he was a coach that got like his big break later on in his career. He wasn't like a Mike White who took over, a lot tech, and then boom, he gets Florida. I mean, it was a while, and Bruce Pearl wasn't necessarily respected and liked in coaching circles either from his time as an assistant. I want to say he was at Illinois when he was a vital part of an investigation where he had basically snitched on somebody else. So like he wasn't loved, and it took him a long time to get his big gig. And then when he got it, he did his thing. So we talked about this last week, though, Ben. Like I never, for one, thought he was going to Louisville. I don't care how prestigious the Louisville basketball program is, and them being a blue blood. Auburn stood by you while you were in the crosshairs of the NCAA. You're 45 minutes away from Atlanta. You have the passion of the football fans and the support. Money is not going to be a problem. Like you good. I mean, you can win a championship at Auburn. Why would you go anywhere else? So, not surprised that he signed that extension.
No, and they're calling this a lifetime deal because, again, he'll be 62 next month, agrees to an 8-year deal, which will take him until he is 70, which is extremely weird to think about Bruce Pearl being 70 years old. But he will be 70, and who knows what he decides to do when he does turn 70. The contract will pay Bruce $5.4 annually with a $250,000 escalator. So here in a couple of years, he will be paid more than $6 million a year. He's making more than Brian Harsin, the football coach, which is expected. Obviously, Bruce much better than Brian Harsin in their fields, but still just funny to think about.
Still surprised.
Auburn basketball paying the football coach or paying the basketball coach more than its football coach, just like it's weird to think about here. And I believe this makes Bruce the 4th highest paid coach in America, 2nd in the SEC behind Coach Cal. And you Rick Barnes haters are going to have to adjust your jab at Rick, and instead of calling him the 5th highest paid coach, you have to call him the 6th highest paid coach now.
Hey, one thing that the haters they do have is the pay that you're paying Rick Barnes doesn't match up with the results on the court.
They're not wrong.
So I mean,
what Tennessee is paying for is what, and I hate that it's Bruce, but it is what Bruce is delivering. Auburn is getting what Tennessee is paying for. Not saying, I'm not at all saying that Rick should be fired or what have you, that Rick isn't winning games, because at the end of the day, Tennessee still has a good, healthy basketball program. And like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, we just continue to discuss kind of how Tennessee can get over the hump. But those folks are not wrong when pointing out Rick's salary.
I mean, when you look at the top guys getting paid, Calipari, Coach K, Jay Wright, Villanova, Chris Beard, Texas. So, Chris Beard is at 4.8, right under 5. So, Chris Beard took his team to the championship game at Texas Tech. So, Texas is having to pay for that. Jay Wright has won 2 championships at Villanova. Coach K, don't need to say much there. And then Coach Kyle at Kentucky, don't need to say much there. So, when you look at those coaches over the last couple of years, they have achieved more in the postseason than Rick. So it's a fair criticism when you look at his money he's being paid on a yearly basis versus the postseason results. They don't line up. They don't. So those are fair criticisms.
The other big basketball news before we move on to some coaching moves in the SEC as it relates to the football. Florida big man Jason Jatobo, who was hit in the eye against Tennessee last Wednesday, he is going to miss the remainder of the season due to a finger that hit his left eye late in the first half of Wednesday night's game here in Knoxville. So unfortunate.
I hate that, man.
Yeah, I do too. And he had been playing well for them. And it's a big loss because he stepped into a starting role to replace Colin Castleton, who also did not play on Saturday yet again because of that shoulder injury.
Weird, man. Florida's player last year, Knox Fulkerson out for the rest of the season. And then, while Florida's playing Tennessee at Tennessee, inadvertent finger to the eye shuts down the Florida player's season. So, weird. Hate that for him, though.
Yes, for sure. Now, moving to football, because there were some very intriguing coaching moves around SEC football over the weekend. The most significant one, in my opinion, was that Alabama is on the verge of hiring Kentucky's offensive line coach, Eric Wolford, for the same position on the Crimson Tide coaching staff for the 2022 season. Doug Marrone had been Alabama's offensive line coach. And Eric Wolford, hired at Kentucky in December 2020, spent 1 year in Lexington, and he had a good year in Lexington. Led that offensive line to be a finalist for the Joe Moore Award, which is given to the nation's top offensive line unit. So he was a good coach and a good recruiter for Kentucky. That is a big blow for Kentucky football, which we do love here on the show. Kevin Steele, former Tennessee interim head football coach, he is headed to Maryland to be the defensive coordinator. Going to go to Maryland and be the defensive coordinator. Thought that was interesting. And obviously he and Mike Loxley have a long-standing relationship.
Yeah, that's weird because, Kevin is at the point of his career where he could be picky and choosy about where he goes. He set out a year before and jumped on LSU, then jumped on Alabama, and boom, was the defensive coordinator at Auburn. I mean, I think he has put together a resume that he can afford to sit out a year and still go and get some of the best jobs in America where you're going to have a lot of talent, influx of talent from recruiting. Maryland is the bottom of the Big Ten. I mean, they've got SEC transfers, but they're still not good. So I'm a little surprised that he took that one, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, if it's the only thing possible, then that makes a little more sense.
Yep.
But that Maryland defense has been what's been holding them back. Talia Tagovailoa is very inconsistent in terms of taking care of the football. But it's that defense that has really gotten them in trouble. Speaking of elder SEC coaches finding new gigs, Georgia has brought back Mike Bobo. Georgia has hired Mike Bobo, a former quarterback and offensive coordinator there for the Bulldogs. He's going to be an offensive analyst. Bobo played quarterback at Georgia from 93 to 97, where he was teammates with Kirby Smart. So makes sense for Mike Bobo, who the last couple of offensive coordinator stints at Auburn and South Carolina haven't necessarily worked out. Was not successful as a head coach at Colorado State, 28-35 in 5 seasons. Makes sense that he is going back to Georgia. Ole Miss had the biggest weekend in the SEC, though. They first hired a name Tennessee fans will be familiar with, and that is former LSU general manager Austin Thomas. This according to Bruce Feldman. Austin Thomas was LSU's general manager during the 2020 season after working with the team from 13 to 17. He also served as the associate athletic director for football personnel at A&M and as associate athletic director for football at Baylor. So they made that move. Austin Thomas is known to be an added benefit in terms of recruiting and just being a part of your football program. But then after that news, on Saturday night, USC transfer quarterback Jackson Dart announced that he is going to transfer to Ole Miss. And that has been trending in that direction for quite some time. He chose Ole Miss over Oklahoma and BYU. And this is obviously a big addition for Lane Kiffin because Matt Corral is moving on, and Ole Miss needs a quarterback. And they did not just add Jackson Dart, but they added his teammate as well. USC tight end Michael Trigg also is transferring to Ole Miss. So Dart didn't play a ton at USC. He started 3 games as a true freshman and played significant portions of 3 other games. Finished the season with 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and completed 61% of his passes. But he was a big time quarterback coming out of high school. And Trigg had 7 catches last season for 109 yards and a touchdown. So big weekend for Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss.
Yeah, man. Austin Thomas was the secret sauce for LSU, man, when they brought in all that talent. And the deal was almost done to come to Tennessee, and that fell through. When that fell through, he made a couple moves. I think he had went to Texas A&M. He has been at A&M, and there was another spot that he
Baylor.
But yeah, Baylor.
A&M, Baylor, LSU.
Yeah,
I believe are the 3.
That's a good haul for Lane Kiffin. That is good, man. They got better with adding Austin Thomas. Austin Thomas is a Vol at heart. Grew up as a Tennessee fan, and
did he go to school here, or was he here at some point?
He was here at some point. Yeah, he went to school here and was started off his career here at Tennessee.
That's right. Tennessee. And then was it Butch that tried to bring him home, or was that Pruitt?
That's Pruitt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of decided.
Yeah, he wanted to come as the general manager, like that title.
That's right.
And former Pruitt was like, no.
That situation got weird because
he was weird.
Then he didn't go back to LSU and sat out a year, and then was the associate something at Baylor for that 2020 season.
Poor miscommunication. That should have told you right then what you know about Pruitt. I mean, one guy is about to come in and thinking that this is going to be his role, thinking this is going to be his title, and then somewhere along the line, he is misinformed and doesn't come. So, but I actually talked to Austin during that time and understood exactly what was going on, and maybe one day he'll be able to come back. I mean, we got a lot of guys on our staff in recruiting that started their careers at Tennessee and went on to do some great things at other places. People that were here during the great times that know what it's supposed to look like. So we got a lot of Tennessee blood in our recruiting office. There's no doubt about it. Austin Thomas would be great, but hey, it's not time. It's not time yet, and maybe it won't be time. But that's a good get for Ole Miss for sure.
It is for
what
sure.
What else you got? I know that ain't it, man. Because we got to go down to the plains. We got to go to the plains too, Ben.
What are you referencing?
Because
the big news on the plains was Auburn smoking Oklahoma and Bruce Pearl getting his big contract. We talked about Derek Mason last week officially leaving for Oklahoma State.
Auburn's offensive coordinator, Austin Davis, who just got the job a couple days ago, and I'm not talking like 2 or 3 days ago, but about a month ago. He has not coached a game. He has not conducted a spring football practice yet. He came from NFL, but it looks like he is mulling over whether or not he's going to stay at all.
Already?
Yep.
Does he have like an NFL job? Or?
According to Christian Clemente of Rivals over there at Auburn, Austin Davis may not be around much longer. The former NFL quarterback coach has expressed desire to resign from the position just over a month after being named the OC. So it looks like Brian Harsin is going to have to replace an offensive coordinator again if this follows through with Austin Davis going back to the NFL.
Austin Davis went from coaching Russell Wilson and got to college and realized I've got to deal with the NIL and all this mess. I've got to recruit how often? I've got 3 transfer quarterbacks and none of them have really busted a grape. Why did I leave the NFL? That's what Austin Davis did. He got to college and realized how sweet his life in the NFL was.
Looks like Brian McClendon is going back to Georgia to be the receivers coach. And listen, Brian McClendon is one of the best in the business. Am I looking at some of the comments from Georgia fans and other SEC fans? They don't have a damn clue. You know who coached? You know who Brian McClendon coached that played in this playoffs, NFL playoffs? Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, it's freaking Deebo Samuels." Brian McClendon coached Deebo Samuel at South Carolina, so he's not calling plays because McClendon was offensive coordinator there at South Carolina. Did not work out, but McClendon is a heck of a damn position coach, and he's a heck of a recruiter. And so Georgia got a good one with Brian McClendon. He's one of my favorite assistant coaches in the country. Fortunately, he's a dog, but he's good. He's really good. So that also happened too. But old Auburn, man, boy, oh boy, oh boy, that is not a good look. The basketball program has more stability than the football program.
Wild.
At Auburn.
Just the way things are trending, it would be a real surprise to see Harsin make it a second year. Or
third.
Yeah, make it into his third year.
Yeah.
At the end of his second year, it seems like he'll either take a job to bounce before they can fire him, or if they go 6-6 or 5-7 or maybe even 7-5, I bet he'll get the axe.
What's worse is Bobo was your coordinator for one season. You get rid of him, and then you hire someone, and then he says, "Nah, I'm good," and leaves. Now it's almost February, so it's going to be harder to go out and get someone unless you maybe get someone from the NFL, which that seems to be kind of the theme. You saw LSU do it, go win a championship. You know, Kentucky did it and had some success, even though, you know, saw something where Cohen may leave and go to Miami. Not sure if that was addressed on the Kentucky side, and he actually was maybe giving more money or whatever and decided to stay. But going to the NFL and getting a quarterback's coach seems to be the move. But if you are in the NFL and you are a quarterback's coach and you're having success, you could be Sean McVay. You can be Kyle Shanahan. You can be Zach Taylor in like 2 years if you just stay in the NFL. We're seeing more new faces get opportunities in the NFL now. So do you really want to come to college? 865-255-03. Hour 2 is in the books. Hour 3 is around the corner. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42nd Street. Brand, strategy, design. Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself but still want that fresh look, then sign up for that 6 times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you. Because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over. If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. irisnetworksusa.com.
Sitting here watching the last shot from Tennessee. I mean, the execution of the play was pretty good. Except got Zakai Ziegler running full speed. He gets 3 good dribbles in. The ball touches Josiah's hands at 2.6 seconds. He's in rhythm. He has a nice open shot. He had made 3 3-pointers the entire game. It was 3 for 6, 50%. Shot better than anybody else on the team from 3 during that game. At the height of his jump shot, I thought you got a good shot. You got an open shot with 6 seconds and having to drive the length of the basketball court to the other side to get that shot. You just missed it.
Mm-hmm.
You just missed it. And the team played hard. The play call was really, really good. You just missed it. You just missed it. So you go back to the drawing board. You got to get this Texas A&M win. You got to finish the SEC schedule on a strong note. Tennessee is currently sitting at 4th place, 4 spots in the SEC, an SEC conference that has probably played their best basketball ever in SEC basketball history.
Yes, I have only been watching in depth and been gung ho. This is the most competitive I've ever seen SEC basketball. This is the best I have ever seen Tennessee basketball. And I point out that it's been about a decade now of me like truly paying attention to SEC basketball. I point that out because I don't know, maybe there's a year before I truly started paying attention when I was younger or before I came around where SEC basketball was just started to invest in SEC basketball for like the first time in its program's history. So it's hard for me to imagine the SEC ever being more competitive than it is now. And I think there's some middle-of-the-road SEC teams right now, like a Texas A&M, that fight Kentucky. And now that A&M's in the middle of the pack, like, speaks to the level of the league rather than them not being one of those definitive top teams in the league. Like this Alabama team lose to Iona and Memphis
Davidson.
And Missouri and Davidson and Georgia.
Ugh.
Yet you beat Gonzaga and
the defending champions.
Yes. Runner-ups.
Who's good enough to go back.
Yes, runner-ups to Baylor.
Yeah.
But played in the national title game last year, and they have Chet Holmgren, possible number 1 pick. Will definitely be number 2, number 3 at minimum. And they're still a great program even after having to somewhat reload after last year. They've still got that one white kid. They're John Fulkerson. Kispert. No, Timmy.
Yeah, with a headband.
Did Kispert move on? I don't know. I know Timmy's still there.
Kispert did move on.
But they beat but they lose to all those teams, but then beat Gonzaga, beat Baylor, and then there's another big team. There's another really, really good team that they knocked off as well. It's the craziest thing, but like this Alabama team several years ago, 5 years ago, would possibly be the top 4. I mean, I don't know what to think of Alabama.
Alabama in the top 4?
I don't know what to think of Alabama. They lose to terrible teams and beat great ones.
No, man, they're not in the top 4. They're just capable of beating anybody and losing to anybody, like you just said. But I mean, they beat Gonzaga, they beat Houston, and Houston is a team that I will not be surprised to see in the Final Four.
Yes,
but they beat Houston at controversial end where Houston, after the game, was acting a dang fool
until the one player came back or came through and picked up the trash.
Yeah, so they've beaten Gonzaga, Houston, and they've beaten Baylor all in one season. And Gonzaga and Baylor were ranked in the top 5 when they beat them. So Alabama got some really good to Iona, Davidson. So
I don't know what to think of Alabama. Somebody had a great tweet over the weekend. I think it was Matt Norlander of CBS saying that either you're going to pick him or you'll pick them to lose the opening weekend and then they'll make a run to the Elite Eight.
That's gonna be electric.
Yes, that will be electric.
Tickets as low as 318.
50 seats there.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow night,
Texas Tech's good.
Yes, and they hate. I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but Texas Tech demolished Mississippi State. Tennessee's was beginning with Texas, and like in the middle of the Tennessee-Texas game, Texas Tech students, Texas Tech in Lubbock. Halftime of the Tennessee-Texas game, Texas hasn't even finished its game with.
Game over that matchup.
I'm taking Texas Tech, because as crazy as it sounds, there will be more hate in the building in Lubbock and going to Texas. They are very, very mad. Both are going to be great and awesome environments. I hate that Tennessee plays weird.
It's going to be a good one, man.
Under Bruce, Alabama's been able to beat Auburn a couple times when you least expected them to. They play the top teams in the country the best, and Alabama has for some reason had Bruce's number there.
Stuff that you don't know what you're talking about, then this game ain't probably for you. But like if you are a real basketball,
watch the game the next day probably, since I'll be dealing with Tennessee basketball stuff. But I thought you were spot on in your analysis. Say that, hey, you didn't need a 3, which I 1,000%, and it seems like all teams want to do nowadays are shoot 3. So I do buy into that thought process. But also I see it's the correct decision to pass it out when Texas has 3 guys committed to the lane and a 4th beginning to help off of Santiago in the corner until guys at the rim. And 5'9" taking on 4 guys at the rim, although I'm not going to put it past Zakai to pull something off. Zakai rhythm instead of a 5'9" point guard. Like I'm with you, but not when you got 4 guys in the rim or 4 guys at the rim. Like Ziegler made the right read and the right could have. It wasn't wide open. You could have got a pass to Santi and he would have gotten a shot off, but I taking a wide open look in rhythm than Santi rushing to get a shot off with a hand in his face.
That's the space in between Santi able to get to Josiah and get a hand in his face on his last shot. And the guy that sagged off Santi, then Josiah could have got it to him for probably a better shot.
And even with it being rushed, it would have been more contested than just made on the court by the players. I don't have a problem at all with the stretch. Justin Powell should not have been in the game because he had not. I don't even think he played in the second half. 0 minutes in the second half. 0 minutes in the second half. So why would you throw him in when he hasn't? If you weren't on the floor
end of the game,
what lost Tennessee the game, and we have not talked about, were 5 of 11. Now, I do think that there's somewhat of an asterisk because Urosh guys were 5 of 7. And to me, that was more of a bad luck thing that Urosh was having to take in those moments, is what I'm saying. Like the team did not necessarily, but regardless, that loss, the free throw shooting, and then it
shot below his average.
I mean, he's a bad free throw shooter.
Yeah, I mean, he shot even below his 50% average. He shot below. At least you got 3 points right there.
Yeah, I mean, I just wish that it could have been Urosh couldn't make his free throws, and they were the front end of 1-and-1s.
Yep.
And B, Olivier's foul going into the halftime. That was literally the difference in the game. That was a free 2 points for Texas, and Texas won by 1.
Yeah, Jordan James' reaction should have told you exactly the answer to that question. It was a foul, shooting motion, and then if you didn't see that, then you could just watch Josiah's reaction. The ball is exposed right there at the beginning of someone's shooting motion. There's opportunity to kind of hit the ball out or for their leading scorer, and the scout report probably just straight up and just got a hand in his face. But Josiah's a good defender and tried to. Another question here or comment I thought was get left behind in basketball. It keeps slipping. We know the loss at the beginning of the season was ugly. Got blown out by Oregon State. Or an SEC of a loaded SEC schedule, like it ain't bad. But you look at the Villanova offense was certainly a problem in those games. But I don't think it's as bad as what it seems in the SEC. And depending on the draw of the NCAA tournament, so We'll take a quick timeout, going back to the text box after this. Stay with us.
Feel like you again. Let us help.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go?
Vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment,
Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand and more. To see a real life, our friends at 42nd Street, online at 42st.com, or give them a call at 8. Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine. Get $300 worth of merchandise for just $150 every other month. That's 6 times per year to keep you looking style.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue.
Price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services. These will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly $99. Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together is committed to reducing litter in our communities. But we need your help to do it. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP.
Training different than others.
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one who comes from you and it goes back to you, so you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at TR Sports.
Conversation? Call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. Iris Networks.
Inventing men's signing day is a couple days is on Wednesday, but yesterday, player's perspective portion of the program, I got a chance to sit down with Justin Williams, ask him about the NIL. So I'm going to let's do it. See what happened?
You plugged in where it's set to your audio to send out over your.
Justin. Yeah, it probably is. Let me.
I can pull it up on mine too.
Pull it up on your. And what you want to accomplish? Tell us on the field what some of your goals in your first year.
My biggest goal is just being a leader, like in the locker room and on the field. My second, be able to do it. Then my third goal is to rush for at least 1,000 yards my freshman year and also be a very good passer.
Some SEC programs, what do you think they saw in you during the time you start getting that interest?
Just taking that next step, just not running the ball, being able to catch the ball out of the back and play at all. Broke my foot, so I came in my junior year kind of fresh. So, I got that first year under my belt. And then, my senior year, I was able just to kind of just like pick up on things and just keep on improving. So I felt like those.
Fan base, I know they're super excited about you joining the program. But from what you have seen, what's been your impression so far of the Tennessee fan base?
I love it. It's nothing like it. This fan base, they love it.
And a big topic of conversation all around the country so far, being a Tennessee Volunteer.
So pretty much my NIL experience, it gave me a lot of opportunities, later on in life, outside of football. You have a chance to make money off your name, which is, I feel like it's a great thing for players. Me personally, all types of people, fans, doctors, just all types of different people that, I can make connections with like later in life. So I feel like you have the aspect to benefit. You get,
like the fast-paced offense. Some other running backs love it because you get a chance to really take advantage of tired defense. When you looked at this offense
you get to catch defenses off guard, which I love. When defenses get tired, you get to just catch them off guard and just kind of flourish. instead of defenses getting time to get set up.
Was it when you sign at your high school, you sign in front of your family, your peers?
So, just being able to do all that in front of my friends and family, that was like a lifelong dream of mine, just being able to play football at the next level. So it was definitely
kind of look at it and say, hey man, I want to pattern my game after that guy. I want to take some skills from him and put it in my game. Any running backs that you kind of look up to?
I have two, actually. Alvin Kamara, which is my favorite running back, and who I want to model my game after. So those are probably my two favorite running backs, and they're great backs. So I'm gonna try to be.
Maybe we can try to work it out to where you get number 6 or your number of choice. Maybe we can try to work it out.
My dream number
6, man. Jimmy Holiday, right?
41.
Can't wear 41, man.
Alvin does. Why can't he? Alvin has made the 41 look good. We can if his favorite player is Alvin Kamara.
I mean, if he chooses to wear that, then okay, that's on him. But
well, he ain't wearing 6, so
for a number of years.
Yeah,
who knows? I don't know.
But Ramel Keaton's going to be the starting receiver. Slide on out to the perimeter. Let me try my luck against Ramel Keaton. And
everything clears up there at USC. That's going to be your starting receiver opposite.
Okay,
Tillman.
If that happens, it'll be in May. And go out and get somebody. They will. They ain't got nobody else to start.
They going out and getting somebody. They ain't gonna let that happen. But if Keaton, man, Justin Williams, newsflash, he like 17, 18 years old.
Doesn't sound like it. Sounds like a
grown man.
25-year-old, 30-year-old.
Yeah. They haven't listed, if you go and Google his name, and if you want to know something about a player and how hard they've been working, the moment you go to the NFL, they measure on the field and the discipline that you were able to have off the field at the dinner table. If you are someone who is 10 pounds overweight or 10 pounds underweight, you have not been taking care of business. That is the message that you are sending your coaches. So Justin Williams is already on a high note, already on a good foot, because he is being the back I think they want him to be, more physical, carrying a little bit more weight, and being able to add a dimension to this running game that, we didn't have with a bigger back. So, or a bigger back actually playing. So, he is going to be successful. Pre-med, he's going to be in pre-med. He was a 4.0 student at East Paulding. Guys like that, there's no question on whether or not they're going to be successful on the field if they stay healthy, because he takes care of business. He's mature. He knows what he wants. He has his goals already set out. He's already a pre-med. That determination has already been made. He knows what he wants. He knows what he wants. Yes, football is important, but it's lined up. And talking to him, during the previous segment to this one, he mentioned his mom. He mentioned his parents, putting education first and telling him, if you want something, go get it. 4.0 student, he's going to be a good one, and he will have some nice NIL deals if he just makes some plays on the field.
Which he will.
Oh yeah, he will.
He's going to be a good one for the Vols.
Yeah, he will.
Which I just can't believe Tennessee was able to hold off Auburn, considering Tennessee just has no idea what it's doing in the NIL world. I just don't understand why he would come to Tennessee over Auburn when Tennessee just is lost when it comes to the NIL. It makes no sense to me. I mean, does he not care about making money?
Yeah, it wasn't close. When you look at the NIL opportunities for Tennessee and NIL opportunities for Auburn, it wasn't close. It was an easy decision for him.
No.
To make.
If I am Jabari Small, Jalen Wright, Laneith Whitehead, I don't leave the weight room next couple of months. Not saying that.
Or the field.
Not saying that Jabari or Jalen won't see significant playing time. I think that they will. My point is that Justin Williams will be breathing down their neck.
Oh, he's coming.
They better not slip up.
He coming. I want to share something with you. It's not I was going to wait, but I'll share it now. I spent some time over there at East Tennessee Children's Hospital. A guy, Brent Balzer, who started the fund during the season. Friday, we were able to present a check to East Tennessee Children's Hospital and the $10. So I just want to tell everyone thank you. Look at what you did, Vol Nation. The check is, you'll see something on this in the next couple days. I'm sure Children's will put something out. Brent, I was waiting on Children's and I was waiting on Brent to do it because, it's so.
You didn't want to put on the East Tennessee Children.
So East Tennessee Children's Hospital hooked me up with a football. They put it in a clear box and everything for me, autograph box. So that was their present for the signed Josh Heupel football.
Running out of room.
I don't know, man. Just wait till I get that. You're gonna be in Huntsville, right?
Yes, I will be in Huntsville.
Man, I wish are you like hitting a baseball?
I am hitting a baseball.
Who's
I'm glad. I don't know what I'm more concerned about. Me swinging and missing? I know, but on the other hand, like, my wife's going to have to put it somewhere where I can hit the baseball. How I phrase that. My wife has to pitch the baseball to me to where I can make contact with the bat. And I'm... What? You just had to mention Jimmy Holiday, huh?
I said... I don't know if he's going anywhere. He could. He has not played.
We'll go with the sweetest if we see blue powder on Friday.
Why can't he be the sweetest?
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center.
Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
Interest rates in 90 days to your first payment. It's a no-brainer. You can even apply on
For details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the expo of their amazing work. You can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out 27007 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. My friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself, but still want that fresh look, then sign up for the X times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you, because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com.
Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like let's barbecue around, check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over. If fiber internet, irisnetworksusa.com.
Swain Event, the shooter McKee, the athlete McKee, the better McKee. You got options, man. Oh, welcome to being married. That's right. Volstorm said, gender reveal, really? Yeah, Volstorm, 2022, man. Let me do if I was having, if I was expecting a kid.
Well,
I'm good. Nelson from Jackson says, are you guys...
Receiver is my favorite position. He has an awesome nickname, and he has the potential to be just absolute dynamite to have an impact than Squirrel. I think there's more of a likelihood that as a true freshman, Justin Williams has an impact. More so. Yep.
Physically, because Squirrel is to put on between now and fall season, without losing any speed at like 155. And look where he is right now. So the weakness, that's the physical part. Justin is more ready physically where Squirrel will be. That's the physical part. The mental part of it is, all right, who's going to be, who's Isnail? Who's going to be healthy? So that's how I look at it. I think Justin has a chance to. I'm more who can run routes like a freaking 5-star receiver, but he's just small. I'm more excited about what he can do. Maybe he can be the Zakai Ziegler of the wide
receiver you can bank on right now. One, in the preseason and following the season, based off of his performance, is a huge question mark. And who plays opposite of Cedric Tillman is a huge, huge question. Cody Burns better have those freshmen ready to play, or else.
BDN says Barnes has had 2 great seasons here. He cashed in after the 31-win season. People thought that team was a Final Four team. He gets bounced in the Sweet 16. Championship came down to the last place. So you had like 8 teams right there that either could have play, which lets you know how really hard it is to get there and win it. We would be a top flight program. That simply hasn't happened. He's basically a 500 coach. He can't be in the same place a couple of years from now. 100%. It really means a lot. I remember we were sitting here when Conzo Martin last season, Mercer beat Duke, and then you had the little Baker Mayfield team dancing and doing all that into the Elite Eight. And Jarnell Stokes on that charge. So the draw matters. And then really that's the name of the game. It's how you finish. And Tennessee did finish horribly last year, but that doesn't mean they're going to finish horrible. In the first 2 rounds, they may be in trouble if you don't bring that offense, but they may not. They may not. That's how basketball is so different from football. You can turn it up more than 2 losses, you're out of it. Like you're out of the picture to really compete for a championship. That's not the case in basketball. But yeah, I mean, for the money, Bree is our telephone number. Chris, thank you. I
baffle me at times.
Chris at Vols for Life. Thank you, Chris. Had no clue. Gideon slap. Not smart play by him. 3rd-year player. You don't want to see that. Plus, they don't have to put down Chandler just to give Ziegler his props. Like, they're both on our team. And they both are damn good. We can enjoy them both. What a concept. A concept I 1,000% agree with. It's not as good at Zakai, and there's some things that Kennedy does well that Zakai can't do. If he stays for just 1 year, that we had him for the 1 year, and I'm glad Zakai's going to be here for multiple years. I'm glad we got both of them. I enjoy watching both of them. Different, good. And they're freshmen. They have good moments and bad moments. They both have these moments. Good and out, because we are done for the show. We'll be back tomorrow. Swain Event, fueled by Daddy and Barbecue. Hour 3 is powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Reinvent Levels Check. Comprehensive annual health assessment. You'll find all the numbers you need to know that are essential to your health. lowtcenter.com.